Welcome to the Rusty Garage and Homestead. My name is Mike, and in a recent video we upgraded our 5 Series Husky, our 572, with an aftermarket muffler to increase some of the performance on it. So in today's video, I want to keep with that same theme, and we want to do a couple other upgrades to our 5 Series Husky. So one of the things we're going to do is, if you guys have seen me noodle with this saw before, you see how sometimes the noodles get jammed up into the clutch cover. Just like that. So we've got a new clutch cover that we're going to put on it. The clutch cover has a few different upgrades in itself, so kind of looking forward to that. We're going to see if that does make a difference, having a different clutch cover on that saw. And we're also going to be adding some felling dogs to the 5 Series Husky. So we're going to go ahead and get that saw fired up and try to reenact that again. It doesn't plug up every time that I run it and noodle logs with it, but a lot of times it does. So we're going to try to reenact that just so we can get some before and after footage from today and see how that actually helps it. It is a little after 11 a.m. today. Heat advisories, they're saying the heat index will be up to, I think, 105 to 107 today. It is already nasty. So that's part of it. I'm down here in a holler, so there isn't much wind. I don't know, we may go up by the shop up on top of the hill when we get ready to do the upgrades. Just want to get a little bit of a breeze. But let me get this thing fired up, let it start warming up, and I'll set you all up over by some oak rounds. We'll do a little bit of noodling, see if we can't get this thing to plug up on us. Didn't really plug up on us that time. Did make a big pile of noodles, but hopefully we'll be able to see some sort of difference before and after once we swap the clutch covers. This all seems quite a bit snappier and quite a bit faster since we put that muffler on it. So let's run up on top of the hill where we got a little bit of a breeze and get these parts swapped around. Yes, this is a lot better up here on the hill. Got quite a bit more of a breeze up here. We're in the shade, so for being a little over 90 degrees right now before noon, feels pretty good. So the clutch cover that I did purchase came from West Coast Saws, and I went with them for a couple different reasons. One, because you could either get it with captive bar nuts or without captive bar nuts, and being on the 5 Series, it comes standard normally with captive bar nuts, so I wanted to keep that. But also you could upgrade them to the larger size, that like what comes on Stills, and I prefer those larger nuts on my saws versus the smaller ones on the Husky. So that was a big reason why I went with those. So let me show you this. All right, here's the cover. We do need to install the adjuster right there, but that's it. Captive bar nuts, larger size. So yeah, we got a chip deflector that we'll install back here, that, and it's got a spot for the dogs right up here. So let's get the factory cover taken off of the 572 just so we can get the parts out of it and installed on the West Coast Saws clutch cover. So y'all leave a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on the larger nuts versus the smaller ones, or captive versus non-captive. I'm a fan. This is my first saw with captive bar nuts, and I absolutely love them. How many of y'all took your bar nuts off out in the field and lost one a long time ago? You always carried spares with you. Okay, so there's some noodles. But that chip deflector, you see how big that one is? This is the one that comes on the West Coast saws. Substantially bigger, wider. So anyways, let's get this popped out of here. First up, do a little cleaning. Okay, this is a factory Husky tool. Should fit in here. So that one does not. This side should. It does. Or it's got a spot where you can put a standard size screwdriver in there to undo it, which I think we'll do since they're broke loose now. I do not think we'll have to reuse these. Pretty sure they came with new style ones in the kit from West Coast Saws. Okay, there's that and that. That's going to go in there. I'm going to clean this off just a little bit first. All right, I've got some just brake clean. I'm going to get this cleaned off real quick. And just like that, all clean. Now we are going to put a little multi-lube on there. This being steel, it's not going to matter. If anything, it's probably going to make it run better. Oh, I can see the comments now.
How dare you!
Okay, that's in. This may have to go in first. I bet it does. Let's go ahead and put a little lube down in this. I can't believe you're using steel lube on a Husky saw. You just ruined it. There we go. Okay, now in the kit from Husky, it's come with a guide there, but that's going to be the cover to put over this. So we've got two Allens. We'll put a little Loctite on those. Cover, good looking cover. We'll go just like so. And then I don't remember the name of it. Somebody leave a comment, let me know. Or I'll think of it here in a second. Before we put that on, I do want to go ahead and just put a little more lube up under there. Get our Loctite. Don't need a ton of this stuff. Get both those set in there. And those are a 4mm. Okay, simple as that. Go ahead and throw our deflector on. See, it's got two holes right here. Mount right on that. Got to see what I'm doing for a second. Yep. Nope, that one's not in. Now it is. Okay, there's our deflector. Kind of clips down in below that. Cool. Now I guess we should make sure this thing's still adjust, which it does. That's on. Let's go ahead and swap dogs on this saw. Before we do that, go ahead and press this thing in, just like so. That's man, why can't I think of the name of that? Basically keeps your chain from chewing into that. And I guess we do need to take the bar and chain off so we can get to this inner dog. And let's go ahead and just get some of this off of there. The factory dog's been okay, but I do prefer dual dogs on my saw. I just think it helps kind of keep everything straight and in line better and offers better grip. We don't need huge teeth dogs here in northeast Oklahoma. We don't have that big a bark on our trees, but it is nice that those large ones dig right in real easy. This is the captive nut clutch cover dogs. There is a difference, I guess. So let's get these opened up and throw them on. So we've got the inner one and the outer one. Just like so. This will fit up in here. We've got another spot down there. It did come with a different chain catch, one that'll connect to both the dogs. Just want to make sure we get all this cleaned off of here real good. And we'll just put a little small dab of Loctite. And I think we might have to sit off just a little bit. And I'm thinking this factory chain catch could probably come off of here. Not sure. Y'all leave a comment, let me know. Because that roller chain catch that came with the felling dogs is going to be lower than the factory one. So do I need to take the factory one off or just leave it? Okay, that thing looks wicked already. Okay, same deal right here. Get a little Loctite on this. Stick it down here. We'll get the nut going. These are 8mm. And then we'll push this piece, this roller up on here. Not sure if it needs any of this or not, but I'd rather it not be dry. Probably just something to catch grease and dust with. Stick this up on there, and then we've got this little thing, which hopefully we don't lose. Should be able to just push it up. Yes, like so. Take our little flat screwdriver and just kind of push on it, both sides. Work it up there to that little groove so it'll snap in, which I think it just did. Yep, that is on there now. All right, and the last step, we need to get the dog put on this thing. It's gonna go right here on the outside. It's got a locking nylon nut and bolt. I'll check the sizes of these, but I believe they are also 8mm. They are 8mm. I'm not going to put Loctite on these just because it is a nylon locking nut. Get our bolt going in, and that just sits down in there. My fingers will get it to lay in there flat. That would work out really good for us. There we go. Okay, I'll just hold that. Get this thing started. Okay, it is started. Let's do the same thing with this one. I do wish they offered this clutch cover in a non-raw aluminum, just because I think I'd prefer it being powder coated or color matched or same color as the factory cover. We'll leave these a little loose till we get it lined up on that chain catch, and then we'll tighten these dogs up. So next, need to go ahead and get the bar put back on so we can get this put on and get it all tightened up. Then we're ready to test it out again. Let's get this laid up on here. Bar needs to come back just a little. I like that. I like that quite a bit. The chip deflector, there we go. Got it to bend back out of the way. It was kind of holding everything up. Let's get this thing adjusted. Now that that's on, let's go ahead and tighten up this dog on the outside. That should be good to go. And we got more parts to throw on the shelf. I think that thing looks pretty good. I don't know, still torn on this color. I think I would prefer the factory color, powder coated, or even maybe the Husqvarna orange. I don't know, y'all let me know what you think about this raw aluminum color. All right, so all in all, that was very simple to install all that stuff. It wasn't hard to transfer the adjuster to this clutch cover or get the dogs installed. Pretty simple stuff. So now that that's done, let's get this thing fired back up and let's put it back in the same wood. And we'll see in the video if we can really tell a difference before and after with this cover and without. Still, having the larger captive bar nuts and the dual felling dogs, the larger felling dogs, to me already made this thing a whole lot better, a lot more useful how I like to use a chainsaw. But enough rambling, let's get this thing in some wood. Bunched all up right up against it. That's what I was worried about. That I don't know if you guys can tell. That's a big pile of noodles. Big pile. Okay, let's go back in the shade and talk about it. Well, I'm glad it bunched up against it. On the factory cover, it was throwing the chips a lot further kind of behind us. And since we're so up high off the ground, it wasn't really bunching them up. I've noticed that saw really plugging up a lot more when you get more wood noodles up staying in that clutch cover. This thing, it directed them a lot more down. So it was, I mean, you guys could see it. It made a couple feet pile pretty quick with just those 3 noodle cuts into that oak. But I'm glad that it did that because even, I mean, I showed you guys on camera, this was pretty clear. I mean, it's pretty open. Couple little pieces, nothing major, but it did a good job keeping itself cleared out even when everything got bunched up. I even had it to the point where it was shoving noodles back through the top like you see a lot of times, so that was telling me that there was a lot of noodles bunched up in here and it all cleaned out. The felling dogs, I mean, we weren't doing any felling, so couldn't really test those, but I'm confident those larger dogs are just gonna get a lot better of a bite on some of these trees around here. Even though we don't have the large bark that they do out on the West Coast, having the larger dogs, the sharper ones, just biting into the trees helped quite a bit. But you guys leave a comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are. Was it worth the upgrade? I don't remember what the price was. You guys can look on their website. Yeah, I don't remember. I'll put a link to their website down in the description. I don't get anything from it. They don't even know who I am. I just wanted to give this a try and see if it was basically worth the money to run on your chainsaw. I did want a different set of felling dogs, but the clutch cover, I don't know, it was just something I was wanting to try out. But overall, I'm pretty happy with it. I think it did okay. It definitely directed the chips just fine. It just directed them in a different direction, more straight down, but it didn't plug up on us, even whenever it was backed up inside. So yeah, I'd say that was fairly successful on one of the reasons you would want to go to one of these clutch covers, or being able to add the bigger bar nuts to it, captive bar nuts. That was a biggie for me. At the end, I'll throw a before and after noodling on that same log with a factory cover and with this cover, and then we'll all be able to see kind of at the same time what's happening with each one. But I appreciate y'all being here. Thanks for watching the video. I'll see you guys in the next one.